really dark in here, huh?
A little bit. Oh my god, I forgot the internet exists. So
I'm so used to, like, my queen and my icon, Tate McRae.
Adele is not out here backup dancing.
Because I'm a One Direction fan until I die. If One Direction ever decides to do a reunion tour, I don't care how much money I have to spend. I will literally be there shaking my ass. Welcome back to our book podcast, where we talk about music.
I could not put it down.
Like, ew, why was I so uncomfortable? I think it's because I grew up reading fanfiction on Wattpad. That's so 7th grade. Bitch, that's so 23. What is he doing with his broom?
No. One of the things about vampire media, maybe I'll write another one. You better! There's unprinted literature you don't even want to know about. And you ended up pregnant, and you're gonna do it later.
Because you're used to fucking biology, ninja.
Lucy, please! Come on! You're selling that? Online? On God's internet?
I love Aaron Warner. Like everyone else. I was gonna say, I'm doing a better job of having sex with him in my mind. I think that's why we should do stand-up. Psych ward patient. I might really be into this because she's stalking a serial killer.
And I've never seen a real-life person. I'm trying to outsmart the main character. Maybe I have a problem. That's a bold movement to be the face of.
Sorry for this. I'm on one. Today, it's going to be an angry episode, if you can't tell. I'm angry.
Already yelling.
I'm already yelling. It's just... That's how it's going to go today, ladies and gents.
I think I should cut the collar off of this.
No,
Rachel's yelling and I'm like, huh.
No, and I'm telling you because it's like... That's the way to go, is cut the collar off of everything, because it gives it that little extra...
No, and after you started doing it, I've seen so many people, and I don't know if I'm just noticing it more or if it's like it's about to be a big trend.
No, I'm just a trendsetter. I've been saying
it
for a while.
But I don't know. Like, I haven't heard anyone like say like off the shoulder. I don't know.
Maybe this needs to be like dimmer. Okay, that's like less violent.
That's good. That's good.
Violating to everyone. Where do I even begin? Well, it was yesterday, but I guess happy opening night to Miss Sabrina Carpenter.
Did you see the photos?
Girl, I've seen the video. Bitch, I sent you TikToks of like her like full sets.
Oh, thank God.
But yeah. Before I start complaining about her set.
I kind of forgot, like, I guess because like she's not gonna be here till the end of October. I'm like, tour? What tour? This is gonna ruin the world tour.
Yeah.
And so I like just wasn't thinking about it. And I did see her post like, oh, like tour starts tomorrow. And I was like, oh yeah, that's like exciting. But like in my mind it didn't mean anything to me because I was like, I'm not gonna get to see any of this. But then today I was trolling online. Well, I should have been working. Don't mind me. And I saw her post of like the professional photos from her concert. I forgot. And then I was like, oh my God, I forgot the internet exists. So of course I get to see the whole set right now.
No,
I was like I can't wait to go home and watch every video that everyone posted.
Yeah. So I'm like, I don't even have to go. That'd be awesome if I got to go, but like...
Well, now I can watch the videos and like really make a decision, but there was only like a handful of seats left on resale sites for her concert in Dallas, and I was like, and then I meant to go ask about the box seats, and I didn't, and I'm a little afraid to.
Yeah.
But I feel like I should. Maybe tomorrow I'll like work up the courage to do it, and then when they say no, we'll work up the courage to buy the ticket. Who knows?
There you go.
So, anyways, what were you gonna say about it?
Obviously she is amazing. She's very talented. I love her. I love how she comes up with kind of like a theme or a vibe that she goes for her shows. I really love that. Like, she puts a lot of effort and artistry and time and thought into her production. Really, it's production. Just maybe get some better dancers. And maybe I'm so used to like my queen and my icon, Tate McRae, who obviously is an amazing dancer herself, but hires like incredible backup dancers. And I think that's just maybe something that obviously Sabrina is not thinking about, and that is okay. But it pains me to watch these bitches dance.
Okay, I'm really intrigued because at her last few tours, she's just performing. Like she does smaller. They're not stadium tours, so they're smaller. So she
Yeah.
hasn't had room for backup dancers.
Oh yeah.
And I want to say when she started doing the festival circuit last summer, and
Yeah.
then the one this past spring, that's when she had some backup dancers for random shows and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember Coachella specifically because I watched that live. I
Yeah.
sat down on YouTube Live and said,
Watch. Yeah.
and I do remember, I was just like, her music, in my opinion, doesn't lend itself to backup dancers.
Right. It like to
Dare
me,
I say?
no, and that's fair because and
And she's not like a bad dance. Like I've seen her little like doing the little choreography, and they do good choreography for her that's like simple that she can do while she's singing that looks good. She clearly like practiced. But like you don't have to do that. Like she could just have like her backup I don't know if she's backup singers. I've never seen them, but I have a feeling she has some. She just have her little backup singers doing little like
yeah, I was thinking about that because yeah, she doesn't really have like super dancey like, something like Charlie XCX, who it's like they have, some backup dancers, but they're like that's like dance. And I mean mostly they're just fucking jumping around, but like they look like they're having the best time. Um but yeah, her like it's just like just do like a little like something every once in a while. Or like when she does the like espresso like
yeah.
thing. That's cutie and that's fun. We don't need like full choreo because, and that's what I thought for Ariana Grande as well. Actually, when she went on like the Sweetener World Tour, but her backup dancers were incredible. Like,
Mm.
I mean, obviously, Ariana Grande had like a full production of like sets moving around and shit, and like obviously, Ariana's not like known to be a dancer. But she's got it because she's got a little musical theater in there. But like she was just doing like a simplified movement, but her backup dancers were incredible. I just think it's
Yeah.
like they added something to the performance, and to me, the backup dancers at Sabrina's performance are kind of taking away. It's like they're doing too much.
I remember in the Coachella one, I never finished this thought. Like they were
Sorry.
running around, they had this motel. No, I just like forgot to finish it. They were running around this motel set, which
Yeah.
I thought the set was really cool, but again, like I don't notably remember the backup dancers. The moments I remember is the outfit she was wearing because her
Right.
outfits always slay.
Yeah.
When she was at the keyboard and like the pedal was messed up, it was like reversed, which is like apparently a big deal. I did some research afterwards, and then just like I just wanted to hear the songs. Like I didn't even really care about the backup dancers, and it just felt like chaos. It just feels like they're trying to fill, whoa, feel fill the stage
I agree, and that's what this
because it's
kind
a
of.
big stage, and she's huge, so people want to like they can fill a stadium, but her performance isn't conducive to a stadium stage. Like, and here's what I'm gonna say: Adele is not out here backup dancing, but she's filling
Right.
a stadium. We can just hear you sing. You don't have to. You can do the outfit changes. You can
Yeah, you
do
can
the
have
set changes.
a little production because it's really cool what she's like the set that she's built and the idea of like her
I did
show
see
is
that.
really cool. I don't need people dancing to like taste or like bedchem. Like I just don't need it. Personally?
Yeah, I think she should just have set changes where like, and again, I haven't seen the videos, but I can see it's like a '70s themed living room.
Yeah, it's like a little house.
And so she could just like move to different parts of the house and like sit and stand and maybe like on like espresso or something have like a little like I guess if you're paying the dancers you might as well like
Do
have them
some.
perform, but
Yeah.
like you could also just do like four backup dancers and not have like
Yeah.
I saw there's a lot of them.
There's a lot.
And I was like, okay. Maybe she wants it to feel like a party, so she wants to like fill the stage or something. I don't
Yeah.
know.
That's what the
But
sweat tour's for, babe. Which I'm
true.
actually so mad that I don't get to go to because it's not coming like really anywhere near me. And I need Troye Sivan in like a weird way. Like, obviously he's gay. I don't know. He's beautiful. Like, I love
You
him.
just want
I
him.
just want him. I think I just want him in
Um,
my life, you know?
I've seen something interesting. So I've lived and grown up in the South, and artists sometimes just won't come anywhere near here. And I've heard some varying opinions from like comedians about why they won't travel to the South because they
Mm-hmm.
just feel that their content doesn't really fit here, and they don't want to perform for audiences that won't
Yeah.
pay to see them. But I mean, like Charlie XCX is huge. Like you think she would come at least two or three places in the South, and I don't even think. I guess her tour is like not really going a lot of places in the U.S. anyways.
It's not
But
even going to Europe, and the Europeans are mad.
wait, where's she been then?
She's been here. The opening show was in Detroit, and then she went to Toronto, and then she was in New York. She's going to Dallas, I think. There's multiple shows in LA. She's kind of going like random sporadic places of like gay people. And I get it because that's who your content's for. But I'm right here in North Carolina, and I want to see you and Troy Sivan so bad. Sorry, that
I
sounded
feel
probably really offensive, but again, I am in my grumpy mood. She's picking her tour locations in some way, um, but they're not here, and I'm mad because I want to go.
yeah. Well, I mean, I guess it's like cost wise, but I think they've also, after the whole Taylor Swift tour, where like people weren't even going to the show in their city, they were like traveling to go see her show, even in the
Yeah,
States. And now, even when she's in Europe, like people are traveling there.
yeah,
And I think that just kind of set a precedent that like if someone really loves you, like they'll buy a plane ticket and a concert ticket. And I am not going to do that.
yeah. I don't really like. I'm also
Unless you're Tate McRae performing at Calgary, then I might do
then I
that
might do that because I'm crazy.
because
Because
I
I'm
can't believe we
crazy.
weren't there.
I know, but I'm also like I'm not an insane Taylor Swift girl who's gonna go buy a flight to London to go see her for the eighth time because I
I
don't
did
love
think
anyone
about
that much.
I did start looking at different um places that Sabrina was going because I was like, maybe the tickets are cheaper somewhere and it'll be like worth it. And then I'll get to go somewhere. And I looked for North Carolina. Less tickets, more expensive.
Yep.
So I don't know. Now I'm afraid I should have bought the tickets before like her tour date started because now I feel like everyone's like online seeing it and like the last few are gonna be gone.
Mm-hmm.
And I should have done it before that. I
Let's
digress.
just like we got to start a movement of like make live music affordable again because I can't be paying these stadium tour prices to go see these people, even though I love them and I want to support them.
Well,
But I was
and I
thinking
would
about
have
today, I was like, if Ari goes on tour, I want to see her so bad, but I can't drop 5 bands to go see her.
well, you know what's crazy is I went to the Nicki Minaj concert. My work gave me like tickets.
That's crazy
So
though.
and we were sitting there and whoever I brought with me was like, "Oh, do you think how much are these tickets?" So I looked it up and there was a couple tickets still for sale, like a kind of a handful, not too many, just a few, 50, $80 to then go on and be like, "Well, in the same stadium where I live,
Mm-hmm.
what are the Sabrina tickets?" For the I was in a better seat. Obviously, I was in a box, but like even like the low ones you could buy for like 50 at
Mm-hmm.
Nicki Minaj concert for like nosebleed, back of the house, sideways angle where you'd have to sit like this,
Mm-hmm.
like 280 minimum. Minimum.
Yeah.
I, I love Sabrina Carpenter. I really, really do. Queen, what? What? I'm gonna say I don't even think they were that much cheaper when they went on sale. I was like 150 for that seat, sure.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe like 200-300 for the floor seats. Like what if those are 1,000, first of all.
Yeah.
And like that's such Taylor Swift pricing in my opinion. And like I'm not a fan of her model. And it's like I know, obviously, you had to bring on a bigger team to put on a production, but like at what point is it too much?
Mm-hmm.
And I have a feeling kind of after this year like people are going to stop doing this because like a lot of people have said like oh like this was kind of the last year for like COVID vacations where people saved a bunch of money while during COVID when they weren't traveling, and then they like did it, but now it's kind of been 2 or 3 years, 4 years
Yeah.
technically, I guess. And so people are like don't have that money, and then like a lot more people online are talking about not having expendable funds like that. Yet all these concerts are always sold out, and not even like, oh well, it's like ticket scalpers. No, no, like on SeatGeek, on Ticketmaster, I cannot find a ticket.
Yeah. It's
But I'm like, when do we all just like be like, I don't have $300 to drop on this?
yeah. Like I don't really get these people who I see on like whatever it be TikTok or Instagram who go to these concerts all the time. I saw someone on my like Instagram who went to see Niall Horan like 4 times in a row in like different places. What are you doing? What are you doing? Not that he's like, I mean, okay,
No, no, no,
I
no. I
love
know what you
Niall
mean
because I'm a One Direction fan until I die.
on
But
the headstone.
obviously, I know a Harry Styles ticket is going to be a lot more expensive than a Niall Horan ticket. But still, that's like 4 shows that you paid to go see.
I'm not gonna lie. Like I've been to a couple concerts, and they're just tiring. Like they start late now, they go a long time. I'm getting old, but like
Yeah,
I don't know. Like if I have a big event like that, like I went to that last week, I, I'm not like, when's my next concert?
yeah.
Like I'm tired. I don't want to do that again.
I
Unless of
love
course it's
like
Sabrina Carpenter and
yeah.
I'm front row. I'll be there. No, I'm just kidding.
I I was never a big concert person growing up. Even now, I haven't really been to that many. My first like real concert was Tyler Childers.
Yeah.
And that was when I was 22. Right, Maddie turned 22, right?
And that was not a good concert, not because Tyler Childers is bad, but because it was
It
like
got rained out.
half outdoor and it got kind of rained out and we got
You
rained
mean
on.
hailed out? It got hailed
It
out,
did
bitch.
hail on us.
That was like my first real concert because I just never saw the like need for it because one, I didn't really have people to like go with to concerts, and also they're really expensive.
They are.
They are really expensive. Like, thankfully, that was like it was a smaller venue, so like the tickets weren't like super expensive. And also there's no seats in that venue. It's just kind of like general admission.
Standing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like I just really couldn't imagine paying like $400 for like decent seats. But I was thinking about this today. If One Direction ever decides to do a reunion tour, I don't care how much money I have to spend. I will literally be there shaking my ass to rock me. I don't care. I will be there
See,
because I also I rewatched The Idea of You this weekend, so it got me
fabulous.
back.
See, in my opinion, I don't I don't think like we should want to go to every concert ever. I think you should want to go to the concerts that you really want to go to. For me, it's Sabrina Carpenter.
Right.
Like, yeah, I went to the Nicki Minaj concert because someone gave me tickets, but like I didn't even really know she was coming to Dallas.
I didn't either.
Like Nicki, not a big fan.
Yeah.
Just a regular fan.
Just
And
appreciate.
I can appreciate her deeply, but I don't need to anyways.
Mm-hmm.
But I hate to say it, and I'm so glad Sabrina Carpenter's is getting her flowers. She deserves them.
Yeah.
But I just want to know how many people like I don't want to say like aren't even that big of a fan, like you don't deserve it, but like I don't know, like do you really want to be there? Like, do you actually really want to be there? Or are you just going because she's like the it girl at the moment?
I don't
I'm
know.
like, would you sell at a Tate McRae concert like that? I don't think the Dallas girls would. I don't think they would. And she deserves it. She should. But
I mean, I think there's yeah. I don't know what it is because obviously like Tate McRae is super popular and like she's all over my social media, but one, that's because I follow her, and the people that my algorithm has given me Tate McRae content because I like it, I enjoy it, I follow her. I get Sabrina Carpenter content, but same thing.
I really only get like her official post and like some people's outfit posts, but I don't get like fan content, I guess. Like I don't know what people are making, but
Not like fan content, but like I get video after, like when Tate was still on tour, video after video of like
oh.
the greedy dance break, the dance break. I was eating it up. But it's just like,
See, that's funny to me.
Where did all of your like for like Sabrina, where did they all come from? What happened? I mean, that's great again, but like,
And I'm like, okay, maybe she's just a pop girly and she was on Taylor's tour, and so people are like, oh, just recognizing how great she is. But like, I don't know.
I forgot she
It
was on
just
Taylor's tour.
I just feel like she kind of hit this virality moment. But it's kind of like Olivia Rodrigo, and maybe just because I'm not like a diehard Olivia Rodrigo fan, I'm not as like confused by it. Maybe because I'm like, oh, she kind of had her moment, like she's good albums and stuff. But I'm like, I'm not like dying to go to the Olivia Rodrigo tour. But I think a lot of people kind of just went because she was the moment.
Okay, to play devil's advocate, I actually would have loved to go to the Olivia Rodrigo tour because it seems fun. Well, it just seems fun. I like her music, and also I want to dress like Olivia Rodrigo because I like her. So maybe it's just that I love an event.
Maybe
I actually do have tickets to the Waka Flocka concert.
do remember you saying that. That's insane.
But that was also $30. I'm going. Like,
see, that's tickets used to be around like 45 to like 80 for a small venue here, if that makes sense. So like standing room GA only.
Yeah.
I don't know. Don't know what happened. Well, anyways.
Welcome back to our book podcast where we
know.
talk about music.
So.
Sorry, I'm so thirsty. I haven't had water in years.
Should we talk about it?
Did you finish it?
Yes.
Okay, so what'd you think of that last chapter?
I read this in 2 days.
That's crazy. I did not. I finished it though.
I don't know what it was about this. So Rachel told me she finally read this book, and I've been wanting to read this. Like, I was on the side of Book Talk that was saying mixed reviews about it. Some people didn't like it. Some people did. And then obviously we follow Heather, big fan of this book.
Yeah.
So when kind of after I saw her review, I was like, maybe it's worth a try. Like, I know some people are mixed about it, but I want to read it to, see both sides.
Mm-hmm.
I just like hadn't got around to it. Rachel said she read it, and so I was like, I have to read it before the podcast. And we were supposed to podcast a few days ago, and then we had stuff come up. So I literally was like planning on reading this in 2 days, and then I was like, oh, I have more time, and I couldn't put it down though. I could not put it down.
Well, I'm so glad you feel that way. I think I'm on the mixed review train. I think I talked about it a little bit in last week's episode, because I've now read. I've read 5 of her books. I'm on the 6th, actually, and something about Bride didn't translate very well.
Maybe because I've not read any of her books. So maybe if you read this one first, and then
that was your first like foray into Allie Hazelwood. That's crazy. Yeah, she normally doesn't write like that. Obviously,
I didn't notice anything. I'm not calling this.
Something felt really off. To me.
I'm not calling it a literary masterpiece, but I enjoyed it.
No, yeah, I enjoyed it. It was interesting. I do like Low. I want to call him Loewe. I'm gonna call him Loewe because I just like need to. He looks like Drew Starkey in my brain.
He looks like Dylan O'Brien in my brain.
Oh, okay.
Who said that?
Um,
What?
but yeah,
Be chill. I can't.
I can't. Yeah, tell me what. I need to know your thoughts on the last chapter.
So I think what I really liked about this book was that there was a mystery.
Yeah, that was
Like I
interesting.
do enjoy a little bit of a plot. I've always been into like werewolves, vampires, like mythical things like this. Like I'm a huge Teen Wolf fan.
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe I just admitted that at the ripe age of 22.
What do you?
Um,
I admitted like 5 minutes ago that I will be a One Direction stan until the day that I die. I'm 23.
you're so right.
I still listen to their music.
I love a vampire piece of media. I've been watching The Vampire Diaries for the first time. So I just like stuff like that. And I like mystery. So mystery and vampire werewolf had it all. Um and what do you mean by like the last chapter? Hold on.
The
Hold on.
chapter that everybody was talking about.
Maybe I'm like a little too unfazed by this.
Oh, I was like this, closing the book. I was like, not that I'm like uncomfortable, but I was just like, we're really talking. We're really getting into this. Like we have to.
I think I was probably more focused on the whole like mate thing.
That doesn't faze me. I
Cause
love
no,
like
no,
a
not
fated
like
mate situation.
not in a negative way.
Mm.
I think I was more mad when he was like, "You're obviously not my mate," and I was like, "No, I knew it when you like cornered her at the wedding."
Yeah.
So I think I was more like worked up about that.
Mm.
I don't know. Maybe I just kind of really compartmentalized this, and I was like, "Okay, next." I
Yeah,
don't know.
I didn't really need like
I
the
do
whole
think it
like
was.
nodding situation. If I'm being so honest, why did we have to get into that?
I don't know. I think it. I do agree. Like I could have done maybe a little bit without that. Like him just admitting that she is his mate, or sorry, it, yeah, that was weird.
Mm-hmm.
um but it felt like they had to place it there. Like I feel like she talked about it before and then like had to finish that plot line, I guess.
I guess, but like, ew, why was I so uncomfortable?
I guess in my mind I just like was like, that's not happening, this is just regular.
Yeah, I was trying to do that, and then I was like,
Maybe, I don't know. I just feel
oh
like
my god, this is so awesome. Where are the scientists?
I don't know, maybe I don't know, it just didn't like phase me that much.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm just like, maybe I was just on one when I was reading it.
Yeah.
Just something. It just kind of.
Or maybe I'm weird. I don't know.
No,
I
I know.
wouldn't say I was like eating it up like this is so good, like this
Yeah.
is what I've been looking for, but I was just kind of like
This is it.
I finally found it. But I don't know, I just like read it and I was like, okay, that's happening. I guess because I think also a big difference between you and me is I don't necessarily place myself in the book.
Oh.
I
I'm in the book.
I very much read books as like the narrator. I've
That
come
is
to
so
realize.
interesting to me
Because you're
because
like, I
I
can't.
read the book as like,
I
I can't
know.
believe I just said that.
I know you read it very much as like POV,
Yeah.
and
I think it's because I grew up reading fan fiction on Wattpad.
I did not.
Yeah, that's the thing. I grew up reading like, you know, Wattpad, like AO3. Like, I grew up with YN. I am YN. Like, I'm gonna be YN for Halloween. Do you know how funny that would be?
Actually hilarious. Insane.
I'm gonna be like original YN, like One Direction, like your mom sells you to One Direction, like YN.
Insane.
Oh.
Wild. Hello, my name is YN.
So Might be a story for later, but like Maddie and I were watching The Idea of You. She's like, I really have to see it, and I was like, oh, we can watch it again. I'm down. Then I remembered how hot Nick
I thought she
Galligan
meant
is.
see it. See his it.
Oh, well, I would love to.
Sign me up.
But and then I was like, oh my god, like Nick Galligan actually is so attractive, and like his accent. Oh my god.
I was talking about him today.
I just love him. And so we were talking about like it was like the scene where Anne Hathaway's like, you know, they're going to like the meet and greet or whatever. And she's like, oh yeah, like, you know, this is so like seventh, like her daughter's like this, that's so seventh grade, like the band. And then Maddie said something and she was like, yeah, like I could like imagine like going up and like meeting that like boy band, like, you know, that you were like obsessed with it. And I was like, I had all 5 One Direction member cardboard cutouts in my room. I would freak out. Like, so
Oh,
seven.
no.
I was like, that's so 7th grade, bitch. That's so 23.
I'm there right now.
Anyway, I'm so sorry.
So, yeah, I think, and I guess maybe that's why I saw that scene differently. I'm like, I'm just reading something, and you're like, I'm in that, and that I could see that would be, I don't want to be in that, but I can appreciate like being reading.
I agree. I mean, I wasn't placing myself, like I wasn't thinking of myself in that scene. No. I know what you're saying. I'm trying to figure out how to explain this. I think sometimes I just like get so jarred with the way that sometimes authors will just bam, and I get this in fan fiction all the time because it'll be normal, you know, Draco Hermione. What is he doing with his broom? You know, it's just like, what the fuck? Like sometimes shit, like, yeah, exactly. Shit like that kind of just comes out of left field to me, and I just kind of have to like throw the book because I can't like in this book. I'll talk about this in a minute. I made Maddie read it. I was like, this is jarring to me. Like, I think it's sometimes language that authors use to describe, like, sex is so. Why'd you use that word? Like, I don't know. Personal preference, and I'm not.
Maybe I've just read so many trashy Kindle Unlimited romances at this point. I'm like, I've seen it all. I cannot.
No, and I agree. I don't like that. Some of those count. But here's the thing, and I'll talk about this scene till the day I die. The porch scene in Heartless. Woo! That is written so well. And like,
what is the one? Which series is this? Where? What series is this? This might be in that series. He fucks her on the hood of her ex's car in the parking lot of the rodeo.
Oh fuck! I think that is in Chestnut Springs. That might be the first one. That might be
No. It's like the 3rd or 4th one because sorry, that was really aggressive.
I was just trying to offer some help.
I'm so sorry. No, it's like the 3rd or 4th one because it's the brother who everyone's like, you're not responsible enough. Like, you always get in trouble. And like,
Theo? In Winter?
No, not Winter, because it's like the girl who's always been in town and she's like a little bit heavier, allegedly. Sorry. Authors talk about these girls like they're fat, and then like if you ever saw real, it'd be like she's curvy at best, like she's fine, like no one cares. I have to give me a minute. You keep on.
Are we talking about the same cowboys?
I might be talking about a different cowboy.
Is it Seeing Red? It's Seeing Red, isn't it?
I think it is.
It's Seeing Red because it starts with her wanting to get back at her ex.
It's that one. I was like, that's why I don't think it's in that series.
Yeah. See, and
But
that's fine. And I eat that up every time I'm like, oh yeah, the Cowboys. They. I think it was because the werewolf and vampire. Not that interspecies relationships make me uncomfortable, but like, why do we have to describe what we got to do here? Can't we just like fuck and get it over with?
no, what annoyed me is I actually had a lot of questions. So one of the things about vampire media and
Mm-hmm.
werewolf media, ill, um,
That was not a real sentence.
Actually, the thing about vampire and werewolf media,
it's like each series, show, whatever book has kind of a different definition of what
A
that
vampire, yeah,
species is like and like how you can turn, what actually affects you,
yeah.
XYZ. So, and I find that really interesting because I guess it's like the nerdy thing in me being like, well, how do you change? So, kill me.
You're so
Um,
right.
but like, well, it's like a lot of vampire media, you can't have kids because you're dead. Duh. So like them being like, we have kids, like we have a low count, like I don't know, I'm
Yeah,
just interested, and they never address, like they very rarely do they even bring up like, oh, obviously we have differences. She's like, I'm cold and you're hot. Like they never address certain cultural differences, certain beyond the sex. But like that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like, why are your eyes purple and why are your eyes blue?
why do they have green blood?
Yeah, and we just never address that.
Yeah, I want the history book behind Bride. Also,
I
I
just like
I love the way she spells vampire, like with the Y.
vampire.
I love that. Like that, I
I
love
think
it.
that's the traditional way.
I like it. It does something nice in my brain.
Well, I'm like the vampire community. Like I don't like not like pie. I
Community.
know it's anyways. I enjoyed this. I think I actually rated this one pretty high. Just because I liked it, it was mindless. I liked that it wasn't just about it could have gone either it was mystery based, but it could have gone more how we're different based, like cultural going into all of that. So I think at least she chose one and she didn't
Yeah.
just let it be like, we're just different. Get away from me. Although she did set this up for a second interconnected series
Yes, she
at
did.
the end, and she's like, maybe I'll write another one. You better.
Yeah, I mean, I think she will because
Sorry.
I think she's gotten like more overwhelming like praise for Bride.
It's me.
Yeah, it's Lucy actually, only Lucy.
Yeah. Okay, random comment about like the spicy scenes in books.
Yeah, let's talk
First of all, I
about
saw
it.
a review that was like, this was too spicy, and I was like, don't read it. Why did you read it?
You knew what this,
You
right?
knew- I love going on to like Fable or Goodreads and then someone immediately being like, 1 star. How could anyone read this?
It's me.
Babe, I got some bad news for you.
Yeah, there's
This
some.
was printed. There's unprinted literature you don't even want to know about.
there's work done by 15-year-olds on ao3.gov, .org actually,
No way.
that has worse content than what you just read. Worse. It's good though. Woo.
So my comment on like spice in books
Yes.
is I totally get some people not like people wanting different spice levels, but what is this like? If they're actually going to do it and we're going to describe it, we can't do it before 3/4 of the way through the book.
Like why aren't we? Why aren't the characters doing it earlier?
So, whoa, that sounded weird. Okay, yes, but no. So obviously in this book, in Bride, they don't really know each other. Makes sense. Totally get it. We had a
Okay.
build up. Duh.
Yeah.
But in Winter's story, Winter and Theo's back to Chestnut Springs, because we can never shut up about them.
Never.
They do hook up in like literally the first chapter, but fade to black immediately. And then we don't even really find out what happens with that until halfway, maybe.
Mhm.
and we get other things before we even get that, if that makes sense.
I wonder. Well,
Eh,
one, I have the book rec for you. You already bought it. Not in love. The basis of their relationship is they're friends with benefits. So they're hooking up pretty early on. But I wonder if it's actually a publishing rule if you can't include like if you're going to include like sex in any way, it has to be fade to black up until a certain like page count or something.
I
To
wouldn't
like
think so, because at that point they would just be putting ratings on books. I think publishers might say people don't want it because they want to establish a relationship with the character.
I'm like, no, just first scene,
Well,
they're fucking.
and and not like that, but just in a way that sometimes I don't see that realistically. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like, why fade to black in the beginning if we all know what happened and you ended up pregnant and you're going to do it later?
Yeah, and then when you do it later, you're going to describe it in like graphic detail.
You know?
You know,
And it's in like, I haven't read, that's not it. It's up there. Not in love. But I like, not that like, oh, I like that, but like, it's realistic in my mind.
no, I agree, and I think that's what a lot of people were. Allie Hazelwood put like an author's note in the beginning of that book and was like, "Hey, by the way, the basis of these characters' relationships starts off as they're just fucking because they don't have the emotional capacity to develop a relationship, but together, don't worry, they learn to love." You know, like she
And
puts
I'm
in this note, and there was so many people being like, I love Allie Hazelwood's writing, and like these characters just it made me so uncomfortable because they were just like hooking up, and I was like, yeah, because you're used to fucking biology ninja and rainbow unicorn socks, you know? Sorry.
and no, no, no. And I think this goes back to the point of when we talked about this before of I think a lot of these girls are Christian and like we're
Yes,
very religious.
I
Sorry,
think
maybe
the
not
Christian
Christian.
girls love to read, and I love that you're reading.
But
But what?
you're not the only people on this planet.
Yeah,
And
who
also
enjoy literature?
and I enjoy a little Hallmark get to know you as much as the next girl. People are gonna be like, girl, maybe just go on AO3. Potentially.
Potentially, I need you. But okay, the thing is like the AO3 books that I want you to read are so long. But they're really good, and they have really good plot, and there's like murder mystery, and really good.
Okay, we'll get into that later.
Okay. Please,
We'll
Lucy,
come back.
please!
Come on.
Lucy, you can download them on your Kindle. Sorry, the
I'm
mic's
sold.
over here, so I'm just...
I'm sold. You got me. Just Rachel sneaking in and uploading them in the middle of the night to my Kindle. So, yeah, I don't know. And it's not even that I think, oh, well, we should have graphic details about.
Put in a GIF.
Yeah, do an illustration.
I've read books. Published literal physical books. Do you remember the book that I read about the mafia with the the ballerina? Graphic images.
Insane. I'm thinking of this one book that I never read, but I sent you a photo of because I found this book on Book Talk, and I read the first 5 pages, and I actually had to DNF it.
Oh, what was it?
Something in honeysuckle, like, oh, but they had like a normal cover, and then they had an erotica cover, and the erotica cover was just spread eagle. And I said, I don't want that. I don't
That's
want
a little too much.
I was like, you're selling that online on God's internet?
On Jeff Bezos' internet?
Are you kidding me? No way. So, and no, I tried to read it because everyone was like, this is so good. This is so good. And I was like, well, we'll see. 5 pages in, I couldn't do it. It like remember in what is that series? The like Defy Me, Shatter Me. She couldn't remember the first one. Shatter Me in like the beginning when she can't interact or talk or speak to anyone because she's weird.
Uh-huh.
It was like that, but it was like there was no excuse. She was just like She was just like, a boy staring at me. Girl!
Remember when we waited 3 books just to get them to like make out?
I don't want you to look at me right now. One day we have to finish that journey.
I love Aaron Warner like everyone else.
I feel like you could honestly
But honestly, I'm doing
fanfic about Aaron Warner.
I was gonna say, I'm doing a better job of having sex with him in my mind.
Crazy statement! And that's being clipped. That's already clipped. That's posted. Oh, Heathen and Honeysuckle.
I can't believe I just said that.
I'm not even shocked. I'm a little shocked, but I'm not that shocked.
I'm not. Like, I'm shocked I said that, but like...
We've been thinking it. I just can't believe you said it out loud.
For an audience, too. I think that's why we should do stand-up.
It's called Heathen and Honeysuckle.
Okay.
Then... Leo Graham knows nothing new ever happens in the small town of Pacific Shores. That is, until he runs into his new neighbor, golden-haired, honey-eyed, and sharp-tongued Darby Andrews. The mischievous surfer is immediately smitten with his innocent girl next door and vows to dedicate his summer to bringing out her wild side. As Leo and Darby's budding friendship turns into a burning love that neither of them could have expected, Leo is determined to protect it at all costs, until he finds the girl of his teenage dreams ran away in the middle of the night without so much as a goodbye. Now, Darby Andrews is Crestwell, Kansas's golden child. She's always been a rule follower, save for one secret summer she spent living with her grandmother in California, the consequences of which still haunt her a decade later. Darby's always done what she was told, including agreeing to marry the man handpicked by her demanding father. While perfect on paper, Darby knows what love is, and her engagement to Jackson Montague isn't it. When the boy whose heart she broke all those years ago shows up on the cusp of her nuptials, claiming to have received a letter that she never sent to him, an offer to run away, Darby's left with a choice: remain the good girl she's always been, or become the wild spirit she's always wished to be. Which sounded good. I was like, oh, like you're gonna get this little love story, and then it's gonna like flash forward. But it was just like I couldn't even stand her.
Yeah.
And I guess he brought out her wild side, but I was not. And then I think this was also post that one book I read where the letter mix up and then they like moved into an exchange.
Oh my god. Try not to talk about that book challenge.
I don't even remember the name of that book.
Not you, both of us. I feel like we kind of bring
it up. No, we bring it up quite a bit. For what? Wasn't even that good. It was long as hell.
Oh my god, speaking of Kindle. So I haven't read a lot of shit on my Kindle recently because I've been really enjoying a physical book, which I always have. But I'm also, obviously, as we know, I've mentioned so many times, I've started reading like first stuff for class where I have physical books. But I saw our girl, Heather, post about a book where she vaguely described the plot as woman, psych ward patient. And I said,
get out! The door is over there.
Up, bitch.
The fetch is already outside.
He's in the psych ward because he might have killed someone on campus. Oh, also he's a professor. Woo! Yeah. So I did download that to my Kindle last night. It's a series, and it's by one of my favorite authors, Trista Wolfe, who, if you don't know, wrote one of my favorite books, Marrow, which is about 2 rival serial killers.
I see.
God, do I need to get help? Maybe I need to go to the psych ward, but then I'll meet him. His name's Callum, which is really epic.
Incredible. No, what I'm thinking is that sounds a lot like the Milo Manheim Dancing with the Stars contemporary dance.
Exactly!
What? Who said that? Not me. Oh my god.
Dancing with the Stars, Milo Manheim.
Play the purple one.
Play the red one. I love the red one.
I love them both.
Do it. I love that song.
Anyways. Something about books.
Something about books.
What? Okay, I can't see that. What does it say?
It says beautiful. It's called Beautiful Villain, and I
Okay.
picked this up at the Barnes because one, the audience will be able to see this. It's gorgeous. It's really, really pretty. And I was like, what is that? I've never seen this book in the romance section before. Pick it up. It's a great Gatsby retelling. And if you don't know, The Great Gatsby is one of my favorite books, like classic book. Like I've read The Great Gatsby like so many. I love it. I love the movie too because I love Leonardo DiCaprio. And I was like, oh yeah, oh my god, oh yeah. And they're like, I think a little younger. Like she's like post college.
Okay.
And she finds out she gets invited to this party. It's Gatsby's party, but she doesn't know that. But she's like, okay, fine, I'll go with my friend Jordan and my cousin Nick to this party. Nick's gay in this, like gay. Obviously, he was gay.
My theory that isn't in the original Great Gatsby that Nick was gay for Gatsby, because who wouldn't be?
Well,
okay. So I'm reading the back. La, 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 la. Vampire. Now you've got me intrigued. Now I'm intrigued because apparently Gatsby comes back, and I thought, I'm like, oh, it's gonna be like a post Gatsby getting shot situation, and he comes back as a vampire. No, Gatsby. So you know how in the original he comes back because he's coming back for Daisy. He's like, look at all this wealth that I have amassed to suit your lifestyle, and she's like, whoa. He actually amasses the wealth by becoming a vampire and creating a vampire serum to help people transition into a vampire. Because the way you get turned into a vampire in this universe is you drink
it matters.
vampire's blood, and then you go through this like week-long process of you grow your fangs, check. You grow claws, check. You get an extra heart, check. You actually get a separate stomach that houses the blood. Check. So Gatsby has made this like serum, like shot kind of thing that helps ease the like transformation. So he's making big bucks and he calls it insurance. He's like, yeah, I work in insurance.
Yeah.
Vampire insurance. And so basically Daisy figures out that Gatsby is a vampire because he gets shot in the pool, but he comes back to life. And she's like, I just saw you get shot. And he's like, baby girl, I'm a vampire. And she's like, whoa, that's crazy, but also really hot. Do you want to fuck?
No way.
Yeah, the book is not great. So sorry, was not great. Just like the writing was not good. We mentioned TikTok too many times.
Oh.
But Daisy did go to UNC Chapel Hill. Woo, let's go. Go Tar
Yeah,
Heels.
you're like, I've never seen this in the Barnes before. Yeah, someone printed that in their garage and then put it in the Barnes.
But it's like beautiful. They sprayed the edges too. So, but yeah,
that's insane.
This is going to be a series of like a retelling classics, and the next one is Dorian Gray, and there is a little excerpt in the back. And they're
the original.
But Dorian Gray is a tall blonde man, so I'm like, do I have to read that? I love like a retelling situation. And so basically, obviously, Dorian Gray goes to this girl. They live in Charleston. I think all of these books are going to take place in...
I'm telling you, someone's printing them in their basement there.
I know, and giving them to me. And so obviously Dorian Gray comes across little female painter in Charleston, and she... and he's like, hey, I need a self-portrait done. Because obviously he does, you know. What?
As the story goes.
As the story goes. And she's like, I don't do portraits. But, you know, so the art that she does do when she does portraits is she draws people's Dungeons and Dragons player character.
I'm out. You lost me.
I can't do it. I was like, oh, this might be interesting. Maybe, like, you know, we're going to get a little spicy with the Dorian Gray.
Retellings can be dangerous.
And then you put... We have a D&D reference in Dorian Gray.
Absolutely
And
not.
she has a shaved head. Like, like the
Nope.
side of her head is shaved.
Nope.
And she's wearing, like, jeans where you can see the, like, fishnets through.
You can't read that. You cannot read that.
But it's probably going to be so pretty. Like, it's probably going to, like, match it. Like, it's... But yeah,
I don't know.
I think I gave this, like, a 2 stars. Because I was like, the writing was just not good. And then the last scene was just so, like... Oh my god. Like... It was one of those, oh my god, we're using, like, just words that I don't want to read right now. I was also reading this, like, on the beach, like, on the porch, like, in the morning, like, he's doing what to her, huh? His teeth are where? Like...
Maybe
there
not.
is, like, beautiful little art. If the audience can
Well,
see. Look at him.
That's insane.
But yeah.
Speaking of sprayed edges, those books I sent you that I saw the other day.
Those are so pretty.
And I added them to my TBR because it's called The Cursed, and then whatever the second one. Yeah.
I'm a stalker.
No, that's okay. I added them onto my Fable. Yeah, I'm gonna need to read these, and I'm gonna need these sprayed edges because what do you mean? What do you mean? So I'm filling out my bookshelf. You can't see. Oh my gosh. I'm filling out my bookshelf. There's more books. Some of them are down here, but we're getting there. I almost bought Apprentice, but it was $20 or Assistant to the Villain to complete my set. It was $20. What?
Can I poll the crowd? Room tour. So I have my bookshelf, right? And this shelf right here is all of my adult romances. So obviously that's love theoretically. I've got the, like, you know, the cowboy romances are over there. The Ashley Post is over there. Up here is Assistant and Apprentice to the Villain, Butcher and Blackbird, Leather and Lark, and Vicious. Because I love those books. Those are, like, some of my favorite books. But obviously, like, Vicious and, like, the serial killer books kind of go together. But, like, Apprentice doesn't really go with that because Apprentice is, like, more cozy fantasy. But, like, I have, like, my top shelf is, like, my favorite fantasy. So it's, like, Lark and Nightbane are up there. I've got Powerless, Reckless, Heartless Hunter, Ballad of Songbird. Like, I have, like, I just don't, but I want to display my, like, dark shit, but, like, I don't think I have, like, and, like, I was going to put this there because I'm like, this is kind of dark and, like, it goes with the, like, dark, moody vibe, but I'm like, this book was all, like, I just don't know what to do. Like, I think I just need more books.
Yeah. Well, 1, you need more books. 2, I do it by color, so mine is, like,
oh, I see.
Like, this dark fantasy into, like, bright fantasy, and then this is kind of romance campy, because these tend to be brighter and those tend to be darker or more, like, weird colors.
Yeah.
Although I don't love this, but that's a problem for another time.
I thought about putting this with Hooked, because I was like, oh, dark,
that fits,
retelling, but I have Hook next to Heartless, which Heartless is YA, but I was like, oh, they should go together. They're, like, Disney retellings. Maybe
I can put them all next to each other.
Because that shelf where Heartless is kind of YA, because I have my Caraval trilogy, and I also have all of my editions of Once. And I'm like...
Well, I started Caraval.
Well, let me know.
I'm 20 pages in. Okay. It's been slow. Anyways.
It is a little slow, actually. It doesn't
I've only set aside, like, 10 minutes every day to read.
No, and that's okay. I'm just letting you know that that one is a little slow, and Jax is not in it.
But if I finish this before next Tuesday, which is a week, and the end of October, I'll have finished my September TBR, because I finished Ornithology one, which was okay. I gave it, like, 3 stars. I almost gave it 2, but I love her books, and it wasn't a bad book. There's something about this like wasn't as good as the first three. Whatever.
Yeah.
Not the first three. Her other series.
Yeah.
And then I read Wild Eyes. Finished that super quick. And then if I just finish Carval in a week, I'll be done. But then I got to pick new October books.
So I was actually going to ask you about that because I was looking at our TBRs and I was like, I'm not doing very well. I've only read Wild Eyes. I can't remember what else I put on there actually.
I checked it the other day because I was like, I couldn't remember if I put Carval or The Final Gambit, and I was like, whichever one it is, that's the one I'm going to read next, so I can finish it.
Yeah, I've only read one of them because I've had to put Ember in the Ashes on pause. It's still sitting on my TBR shelf, but it's a thicker one, and I've had other things that I'm like reading. And then also, I haven't picked back up Throne of the Fallen. Oh my god! But I was in the Barnes and Noble because I had to go buy some books for my classes, and I know this book was going around on Book Talk for a little bit, and it's by the same author. But have you ever heard of a book called Stalking Jack the Ripper?
Vaguely.
So it's by her, and I didn't realize that, but I was looking at it, and it was a really pretty cover. Like, it's really pretty. And I was like, oh, fuck. I might really be into this, because she's stalking a serial killer. That's me sad.
I wanted to read a bunch of, like, spooky stuff for October, and I have a couple things. Like, I have Heartless Hunter that's still on there, been on there.
Yes.
I guess Carval, kind of some other, there's like I think 1 or 2 fantasy books up there, and then there's a few I just don't like my TBR that I was like waiting to read. I guess I have like Dare Vicious Games and like the Mary Shelley Club, which are just kind of spooky, not necessarily like scary, but they're just eerie.
So I started making on our little Canva because we've started posting every month our cute little TBR. So I made the like template for it, and I added one of my books because I would love to read in the month of October Long Live the Villain or Long Live Evil.
Yeah.
Long Live Evil. And it's like also purple, and I made the October like little spread thing purple. I would love to get to that, but every time I open it, I get a little spooked because the writing is kind of like small.
Long?
Huh?
The writing's what?
It's like small.
Oh, I thought you said long. I was like, long? What does that mean?
It's like font. Sorry.
Interesting.
So I was like, that's all I have right now on my TBR for August. I mean, August!
Whoa. Girl, catch up.
October! Because I don't know, like, what else I'm gonna, like, get to, because I feel like my class readings are really picking up, but I'm not putting that on. That's not my TBR.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll put the little book that this Asylum.
I saw a real life coworker, a real life person, reading a Frida McFadden book the other day, and I've never seen a real life person I could talk to about this. I've not read Frida McFadden. She wrote like The Housekeeper, which got turned into a series, and then she like Never Lie, and some other stuff. People swear by her books.
Is that the one with the door, the eyeball?
Maybe. I'm not. I just know there's some people who are like, "This is my favorite."
Oh
author.
Yeah. The teacher one, yeah.
But I saw someone actually reading the book, and I said, "Do you like that author? Like, how's that book?" My coworker. And so we were chit-chatting about it. She's like, they're really mindless, which is not what I thought she was going to say, because I thought these were like mystery thrillers, which in my mind are not mindless because I'm trying to outsmart the main character. Maybe I have a problem. And so to me, they're not like like every book's mindless, like you're reading, but it's not mindless because I'm like, I don't know. So I thought that was an interesting thing to say about it. And then I also know people who take like months to read her books. They're just like, I just keep picking it back up. And I'm like, that's not really my style. I read books in 2 days because I can't put them down because I'm insane.
Right. I like to I like to feel so much joy and so much excitement when I'm reading that I actually lose track of time, and all of a sudden it's like 1 in the morning and I'm still laying on the floor reading because the book
Yeah.
is so good. I don't want something that I'm like, I mean, sometimes it does happen because of my schedule where I'm like, okay, I'll pick up like a chapter, put it down, or I'll pick up like 10 pages, put it down. But I want something, like, honestly, yeah, I gave it 2 stars. I kept wanting to pick this back up though. That's the thing. It's like, oh, but like, God, he's just about to pick her up at her house. Like, you know,
It pulls you in.
it does. They just,
It's like a good TV show. Like it leaves you with cliffhangers, but not like that's how I felt about Bride. I just wanted to know what happened.
yeah.
I don't know.
I've been
Like I wouldn't say it was bad, but I wasn't like just a yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
I've been rewatching Flanny, Mike Flanagan. Shout out. Um, oh my God, he does artwork on the screen, bro. And like, yeah, he has the same idea of like, I'm gonna leave you on a cliffhanger, so you let that next episode big play. You sit here
Yeah.
all day until it gets dark out. And I just think, yeah, I need that. I don't want something that's like, oh, just.
Speaking of TV, I finished Good Girls Guide to Murder,
Oh my
the
God.
show. I've been busy this week catching up on things. So I was kind of watching it while I was working the other day, so like I wasn't like super into it.
Mhm.
I think you should either watch the series or read the book. I don't think you should do both.
Interesting, because I obviously just watched the series and I
Yeah.
enjoyed it. Had a good time.
I probably would have just read the book. Like I didn't feel it necessary to watch the show, but I did it for research.
For research, for work.
In the book, there's a couple more characters she interviews. She works alone a lot more / with Ravi. She like is really stalking people. In the show, things are kind of like handed to her. I don't know. People are
They
very
are though.
forthcoming. So, thought that there's like something hanging off my hair. I don't know what's happening. So that was interesting. Also like um yeah, in the book, the girl that he kidnapped and said was Andy, he genuinely believed it was Andy. And that girl had like they were like, oh, she's like mentally stunted or something. So she was like happy to be there and like had no idea. Like, obviously, she's like being held hostage, but she's like, they had, she just like answered to Andy. Like, they didn't, I don't know. And the show was like a little different. But yeah. And then like the friends weren't involved as much, like her friends who were helping
Yeah.
her, and they were basically not there. The dog did die.
Yeah.
That did happen. It was a little bit worse in the book too. I don't know, it wasn't like wholly inaccurate, but the vibes were just different.
Mm.
It was a little bit eerier on paper, and I don't know if that's just like my imagination, but
Like, I wouldn't go back and like read the book now that I've seen the show, because I was like, either I'm gonna read the book or I'm just gonna wait for this show to come out.
mystery is an interesting one to make into a series, and they've done it a few times, but I think you're right. You're like, what happens. You're not waiting on the edge of your seat. And I guess, yeah.
Like, yeah, if they came out with like an inheritance game show or a movie or something, watch it.
Yeah, but that's kind of interesting because I would want to see how they execute everything.
Yeah, because everything in
it's
that
so
realm is so
grand and elaborate.
But also,
whereas
like,
this one,
you finish the book and then the show is there for you. Like, if they ever come out with an Inheritance Games visual media, it'll have been a while since I've read it. So I'm
True.
like, kind of, like forgetting things, not really,
yeah.
I don't remember all
I'm
of the little
surprised
tricks.
they make so many. They're making so many adaptations and signing stuff because I don't know.
Well, it's free media. Someone's already written it for you.
I know, but you have to adapt it and whatever. Maybe I'm a little bit of a purist, but like, books should stay books and TV and movies should stay TV and movies. Not always, but like most of the time.
I
I
think
think we've
there's a
gotten a
lot
little
of things that should have just stayed books.
yeah.
Obviously, I'm so grateful we have, adaptations like The Hunger Games and
That's
Ballad
a
of
good one.
Songbirds is a movie as well as a book. But I did read the book before, like
But I think things like the Emily Henry's getting
ah,
kind of
ah,
serious because it's like
no, no,
the
no,
whole
no.
point is you can kind of like imagine and YN yourself in there, and they're just not that interesting, dare I
Yeah,
say.
I'm
I've not read
sorry.
them. I've not read them.
So Lucy and I saw It Ends With Us, the Colleen Hoover book.
Which we did not read.
We did not. Yeah, we both didn't read it. But like again, it's like the same thing of like, if I'm reading like a silly romance, sometimes I'm just YNing it. Like I'm just like giggling around. Like I don't need to see like Blake Lively like doing all that.
So, yeah. Well, since we everyone have a great day. Hope you enjoyed us not talking about books.
We talked about so many fun things.
We did. Relating to books. So, till next time.
Go read a smutty
When
little
we
fanfic for me, audience.
Yes, exactly. No fade to black.
No Fade to Black here.
Anti fade to black.
We should start a movement.
That's a bold movement to be the face of. They're opening a romance bookstore in Bishop Arts.
Really?
I saw some lady do like a day in the life, and it's not open yet, but she's gonna open it. But I'm scared. But it's right next to this deli apparently, and I'm gonna go try pastrami at this deli.
Can I come?
I want you to be here. You should come stop by for a weekend.
I hate to see other people live in our dream. Eating pastrami and opening a romance bookstore.
We're just girls. That's all we
I
need.
just need pastrami.
I don't know. I saw that and I said, damn. You wish that were you, huh? Yes. Yes. Ugh.